In this video, we describe the new Dart function in the latest vStitcher versions. Version 2021.1 and newer includes a new darts function, separate from Pleats, which we can access from the Insert tool. We add darts to garments in several ways. First, to convert an existing cutout dart in a pattern to a vStitcher dart object, multi-select the dart edges. Go to View Actions in the context view and select Convert to Dart. Second, to convert the internal line dart making to a vStitcher dart object, we select the internal lines, ensure that the internal lines extend to edge, go to View Actions in the context view, and select Convert to Dart. If there are no internal lines present, we can add an internal line to a pattern and then convert it to a dart. This comes in handy when we use the pen tool to mark and gauge a dart's position in the 3D window before converting it to a dart. Finally, we can use the Insert tool to insert a dart. Let's insert a dart on the armhole, since we have excess fabric there. To adjust a dart's measurements once we have inserted the dart, we drag the dart's apex or legs in the 2D window or adjust the dart measurement in the context view. First, let's identify the dart parts. The apex is the circle with a plus sign. The legs are the lines that join the dart apex to the dart edges. The dart points are the points along the dart legs. The width is the distance between the dart points. The dart center line is the line from the dart apex to the center of the dart base. When we insert a dart, we create a default dart that is perpendicular to the garment edge. The default dart measurements are width of 3 cm, leg length of 10.11 cm, center length of 10 cm. We can adjust dart measurements by dragging the dart parts like this. To keep the length of both the dart legs equal, we hold down Shift while we move the dart points. We move the dart along the garment edge by adjusting the dart position in the context view. Unlike the pleat option, we do not have a point at the dart base to drag and adjust its position in the 2D window. Alternatively, we can drag the leg of the dart to move it. We adjust dart measurements in the context view by typing the desired measurement in the width, center length, and leg length fields. The center length and leg length are linked by default to maintain the dart's proportions. The drop-down allows us to select the dart, apex, right or left leg by an exact amount. For instance, to move the dart by an exact amount, we select Dart from the drop-down menu, then type the value in the X field, and type a value in the Y field. We can select options in the Dart Properties section of the context view to adjust the dart fold direction, make a full or empty dart, and make a round dart. The fold direction determines the direction of the directional seam and affects the full dart allowance cap shape. This can be checked by turning on the full dart allowance option. Notice how we affect the dart allowance shape by changing the dart's fold direction. Let's hover our cursor over the dart to see the dart's fold direction. The thicker line folds over the thinner line. We can also see the dart's fold direction in the 3D window. When we change the dart's direction, the location of the thicker line changes accordingly. To make a full or empty dart, select Full Dart Allowance. vStitcher displays the full dart allowance, to which we can add an additional seam allowance. We can further adjust a dart's measurements by locking a dart point or enabling a dart's edge handles. When we lock a dart point, that point remains in place as we adjust the other dart's measurements. If both dart points are unlocked, they both move when we adjust the dart measurements. When we enable a dart's edge handles, we can shape the dart edges more smoothly. Round darts can be created by enabling this option. It may be symmetrical or directional. If we select symmetrical, when we move one leg handle, the other leg handle moves with it symmetrically. If we select directional, when we move one leg handle, the other leg handle moves with it in the same direction. Let's change this dart to a round dart. We can select options in the Tools section of the context view to preview a closed dart, rotate a dart, and implement a dart. If we select Preview Closed, we see the dashed line on the 2D window that shows us how the pattern shape will look if we close the dart. When we change the dart's direction, the shape also changes. This lets us see whether the joined edges will be smooth. If we select Rotate Dart, we can see the effect of moving excess fabric from one location, for example the armhole, to another, for example the shoulder. First, let's select the new location of the dart. Then hover our cursor over an area, and clicking on the selection we want to move the dart. Let's use the gizmo to rotate the dart so the excess fabric moves to the shoulder seam. Once we have decided where we want the dart, we click Done to move the dart to its new location. To cancel dart rotation, we click Cancel under Rotate Dart, or click the Escape key on our keyboard. If we select Implement, we can see how the pattern will look if we edit the dart without the editing restrictions that normally apply to dart objects. One restriction of dart objects is that the leg lengths of a dart object must be equal. If we want to see how a dart with unequal leg lengths would look, we implement the dart. We can also convert a cutout shape into a dart object to adjust the dart, and then implement the dart once we have confirmed the shape. Remember that if we implement a dart object that we converted from internal lines, the dart will be implemented as edges and not as internal lines. Finally, to delete a dart, we must implement the dart and then delete the apex. You may require to reshape the edge slightly to remove unnecessary corner points. And now you know how to use the latest dart function options in VStitcher. For more information, visit support.browseware.com.